All right, happy Tuesday, class. Before we finish our story that we started yesterday, we are going to we're going to do our poem and memorize a new stanza. What's our poem, class? Good, it's called Where Go the Boats, and the author is, good, Robert Louis Stevenson. All right, so let's do the first stanza together, and then we'll learn the second one. All right, Where Go the Boats by Robert Louis Stevenson. Dark brown is the river, golden is the sand. It flows along forever with trees on either hand. All right, that was, I had to look at the book. So let's do that again. Dark brown is the river, golden is the sand. It flows along forever with trees on either hand. All right, the next stanza is green leaves a-floating. See that with me? Green leaves a-floating, castles of the foam, boats of mine a-boating, where will all come home? All right, let's do that again. Green leaves a-floating, castles of the foam, boats of mine a-boating, where will all come home? All right, let's do that one more time, and then let's do our two stanzas together. Green leaves a-floating, castles of the foam, boats of mine a-boating, where will all come home? All right, let's start from the beginning. Where Go the Boats by Robert Louis Stevenson. Dark brown is the river, golden is the sand. It flows along forever with trees on either hand. Green leaves a-floating, castles of the foam, boats of mine a-boating, where will all come home? All right, nice job, class. That's half of our poem. All right, so before we finish our story, we're going to learn some new vocabulary that will be in our vocabulary is just a big word for words. Some vocabulary that will be in the second part of our story. All right, so we don't have as many new words in the second part of our story. All right, our first one is courtly. It's an adjective, so it's describing something. And this doesn't mean like court like the US Supreme Court, right? But if you think about a king and a queen, back then they would call the people who were around the king and the queen and who helped them their court. So if you are around a king and a queen, you must be very graceful and have very good manners and be very respectful. And so courtly means your behavior is such that you could be around a king or a queen. All right, the next one, our next word is another descriptive word, an adjective. It means mournful. So if you look mournful, you look very, very sad. Very sad. All right, our next word we're going to come across is admiration. Admiration, so that comes from admire. If you admire someone or something, you really like them. If they're a person, you might look up to them or want to be like them. So admiration is the feeling that you have for someone when you admire them. Right? So looking up to someone or something, thinking it's really great. All right, the next one is illuminated. That one's our verb, our only verb we have. So if something is illuminated, it's lit up all of the sudden. So if you have a Christmas tree around Christmas time and you plug in the lights, the tree becomes illuminated. It's lit up. It has lights all over and all around it. All right, the next word is another descriptive word. It's radiant. If something's radiant, it's like it's dazzling or very bright. All right, radiant. We actually had that in Charlotte's Web, didn't we? But, right. And our last descriptive word we have here is meddlesome. So if you're meddling, that means you're being involved in other people's business and doing things that's really not your job to do, right? You're kind of being disruptive and getting into other people's business. That's meddling. So if you're meddlesome, someone says you're meddlesome, it means you're being meddling, you're being involved in their business and doing things that maybe you shouldn't be doing because it's not your business, it's theirs. All right, so these are the words we're going to come across in our story today. And I'll make a separate video again so you can see the pictures in the story really well.